Alright, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to add custom characters downloaded from Sketchfab or anything else in your game animation sample project. If I display, you can see that we have the Spider-Man character. It looks pretty good. We can walk around. We can use all the animation that come with it. And you can see that parkour and everything else works just fine as well. Perfect. So let's go ahead and basically get started with importing this character. So the first step is going to be going to the internet. And basically, you can go to Sketchfab or any other 3D model website, and you can just get a character essentially. I'm going to be searching for Spider-Man character. Again, you can do this with pretty much any character that has like a general human shape. You can just click downloadable and licenses. I'm going to turn off standard and editorial so that it only shows me free stuff. I think the one which I downloaded was this one, the Ultimate Spider-Man, but you have a lot of other really good options as well. There's this one as well, which is pretty nice. Now some of them, if you're lucky, you're gonna find a model which is gonna be already rigged, which can be imported directly inside of Unreal Engine 5. But like this one is already rigged. However, some of them are not gonna be rigged, so I'm gonna be telling you how to rig them as well. I'm gonna be teaching you that as well. So if like you have a model like this which you like a lot but it's not rigged, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to rig that as well. It's pretty simple, it's just a couple of extra steps. But yeah, once you have decided what model to download, what you can do is you can just click download right here. And I'm going to be downloading the GITF format because I'm going to be importing it inside of Blender and then exporting it again as an FBX. So if you had FBX here already, then you would obviously prefer that. But because we don't have FBX, so GITF should also work fine. So I'm just going to open this. You can see that just like any other Sketchfab model, we have a source and a textures folder, open source, and open the zip file as well. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to cut it. So I already have all the files inside this Spider-Man folder. So I'm not going to be pasting them once again, but yeah, you can just paste them into a folder. Then we can go ahead and open up Blender. If you don't have Blender, you can just search Blender download on the internet and you can just download Blender. It's a completely free software and you don't really need to know Blender. I'm just going to be guiding you along the whole process. So just once you go into Blender, just select everything and press delete on your keyboard. Then you can go to File, Import, GITF, because that's the file we're trying to import. If you have GLB or any other format, you can select that there. But yeah, we have GITF. So go to Desktop, Spider-Man, and scene.gitf. Click Import GITF 2.0, and you're going to see that we have the file right here. If you don't know how to orbit around objects inside of Blender, I believe you can press your middle mouse button and then move around like that. So yeah, you can do that basically. And one problem that you're going to be noticing is the fact that this is, I mean, there's two problems really. First one is obviously that it's not rigged. Second problem is that it is actually divided into multiple objects. So we don't really want that. We just want this whole thing to be one object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A on my keyboard to select everything. And then we can just press Control and J on our keyboard, Control J. That's just going to join everything. And now you're going to see that it's just one object. Perfect. So now we can go to File, we can click Export, FBX. We want to export it as an FBX file. Go to Desktop. I'm going to go to the Spider-Man folder once again. I'm going to call this Spider-Man.fbx. Perfect. And click Export FBX. Everything else I think should be default. It's perfectly fine. Now you can go back to the internet and you can go to this website called Mixamo.com. This is a really good website to sort of rig your characters, and they also have a lot of pre-made animations that you can put on your characters. It's very simple to use. It basically does everything for you. You just have to like upload your character and just wait for it to be done. So you need to create an account, or if you already have an Adobe account, then you can sign in with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. All right, so I'm inside of Mixamo and you can see I already do have that Spider-Man character imported. You're not going to have this, obviously. This is because I did this before as well, just to test this method to make sure that it works. You're going to have the default Mixamo character. I think it looks like this, basically, like these characters. What you need to do to upload this Spider-Man character is just click Upload Character right here. And then you can just select the character file. I'm going to go to Desktop, Spider-Man.fbx, just select this, click Open, and then it's going to take a second to upload. And all right, so what you need to do is you need to, it's preferred to have your character in a T-pose, but even though it's not in a T-pose, it's perfectly fine as well. Just make sure that your character is being displayed right here. Click Next, and now you're going to have to place these items, these sort of markers on the correct places. So the chin is going to go somewhere right here. Wrist is gonna go somewhere right here, and because symmetry is turned on, we're just gonna have to place one of them, and it's gonna place the other one automatically. Elbow should be somewhere around there. The more accurate you are with these, the better your results are gonna be. So just be very careful. Knees and the groin area should go to right here. Perfect. Once we're done with this, we can click next, and it is gonna take a minute, but then it's gonna be rigged. All right, so now you can see that our character has been rigged and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent. If it doesn't look good, you can go back and you can adjust the points again, adjust the markers again, just to make sure, just to get a better result basically. But because we're satisfied with our result, we're just gonna click next and just click next again. You're probably not going to see that screen because I already did have this character imported. That's why I saw it. But now you're going to have your character inside of Mixamo. It's not going to display any of the textures, but that's perfectly fine. Now what we can do is we can basically just go ahead and click download and select FBX binary. And you can select T-pose. It doesn't really matter, I think. I tried it with T-pose and it works with that. So just go ahead and select T-pose. Just click download then. And basically just wait for it to complete downloading, and now it's done right there. Now we can go back to our Unreal Engine, and I'm going to be creating a new folder. Just right click your content folder and create a new folder. I'm going to call this Spider-Man TUT tutorial. And this is actually my second take of basically recording this. First time I forgot to press record, so that's why I have this already set up. And this folder was from when I was originally, testing it out before making the tutorial. But yeah, regardless, go back to your browser and then just drag this in into the content browser. Everything should be fine if it's set to the default. Click import down there, right there, and you're gonna see that the whole character is gonna be imported. Now you can essentially just drag your skeletal mesh onto the scene just to make sure that it looks good. You can obviously play around with the textures and all that stuff, but we're not going to be that concerned with that. Now our next task is to essentially set this up as a playable character. The way you do that is pretty simple actually. So what you need to do is you need to go to your content browser and then go to the blueprint folder, blueprints right there. And you're going to see this animation blueprint. It's going to be called ABP_sandbox character. Just right click this and click retarget animations. Once you do this, you're going to see your default UEFN character. In the target skeletal mesh, you need to just search for Spider-Man. And I'm seeing 3 because I did this 3 times. You're obviously only going to be seeing it once. But I'm just going to select Spider-Man 2, the latest one that we imported. And you're going to see the character right there. You can see everything is fine. And now what we can do is you can just click export retarget assets. I'm going to be saving this inside our folder, the Spider-Man folder. Actually, I can right click this and create a new folder, call this assets, and export export the stuff inside of that folder. So now we can just cross this out, and you're going to see that we have some assets right here. What you need to do is we're interested in this IK retargeter. It's called RTG_auto generated. We're going to right click this, rename it, and we're going to add an underscore and call it Spidey. I'm just going to call it Spidey. All right, whatever you name it doesn't really matter. It's just for like your own reference. But what is important, however, is the fact that you should copy this name. Just copy it, press Ctrl C. Then what you need to do is you need to go back to your blueprints folder. And this time we're going to go inside the retargeted characters folder. And here you're going to see this thing called ABP_generic retarget. If you click this, and if you open this basically, I'm just going to maximize the screen. We're interested in going down to this IK retargeter underscore map. If you go to this, and this is going to be collapsed by default, what you can do is you can press this plus icon right here, and you're going to see all your characters, existing characters here. And this is the new one that we just created by pressing the plus icon. What we're going to do is that here we're going to paste the name that we copied. And in this, we're going to click none right here. And from this drop-down menu, we're going to search for the one that we just created. So RTG auto generated underscore Spidey. I'm going to select that. Once you select that, you can compile it and cross it out. Perfect. Next up, there's only one step left. All we need to do is we need to select any of these characters and basically duplicate them, except for this one and this one, because these are, they have multiple characters. Also, you're not going to be seeing these Spider-Man ones. These are because I've done this process before as well. So you can just select any one of these. I'm just going to select Twin Blast. You can select whichever one you want, doesn't matter. Right click it, duplicate it, and now we can just call this whatever you want. So I'm just going to call this Spidey. I'm going to call it Spidey, and we can open this. And so you're going to see that in the blueprint editor, we're going to have this Twin Blast character right here. This is the skeletal mesh component. I'm going to click it thrice to rename it. I'm going to call this Spidey as well, just for, organization purposes, just so, we're not confused later on. And with this selected, I'm going to go right to the details panel on the right side. And in skeletal mesh asset, I'm going to be clicking this drop down menu right here. And we're going to select the skeletal mesh that we had. I think it should be called Spider-Man 2. Perfect. Select that. And one last thing that you want to do is that you want to still be in this in the skeletal mesh component, the one that we just renamed to Spidey. And you're going to go to search panel inside the details panel, and you're going to be searching for tag. Once you search for tag, you're going to see this thing right here. Just replace that with what we copied. So RTG auto-generated underscore Spidey. So once you do that, if you compile it and cross it out, make sure to save everything. It should, if we did everything right, it should work now. We just have this character right here. All we need to do is we need to go to our world settings, and in the selected game mode, we need to replace this with the default pawn class. So to select it, basically just drag it into the default pawn class. So that's going to make sure that when we play the game, it's going to play as this character right here. So let's go ahead and press play, and you're going to see that it is working perfectly fine. And so essentially that's the whole process. I'm also going to be showing you guys how to sort of take this character into your own project, because obviously you don't want to make games inside this specific project, right? So the way you do that is actually pretty simple. All you need to do is basically right click the blueprint class of the Spider-Man essentially, and basically just click asset actions and then click migrate. So once you do that, it's going to ask you to save everything. Just do that, press OK. And now you can just basically browse over to wherever you have the other project that you want to save it to. I'm going to take it to my project because that's the current project that I'm working on. And here you have to make sure that you go inside the content folder. You cannot save it anywhere other than the content folder. That's very important. So once you're in the content folder, you can basically just click select folder. And so because I've done this before, it says that some assets are already there. So what I want to do is I want to just click apply to all, and I'm going to click no, because if the assets are already there, I wouldn't want to copy them over again. It's just going to take longer. So just give it a second. So for some reason, Unreal Engine just crashed, but it doesn't really matter. It usually crashes at this point. I think it's a glitch. I hope they fix it soon, but just send and close. And now we can open the other project that we saved, that we basically migrated our character towards. And also, it doesn't really migrate the character, it just copies it over. So the character is still going to be available inside of your game animation sample project as well. But I'm just going to go inside my project. And so inside this project, you can see that we have this Spidey character. I'm going to go inside this map that I was working on. And I'm just going to be showing you guys that it works, just proving it to you guys. You might have to change one thing, which I'm going to see if you have to change. Because if you do, I'll show you guys that as well. And I'm going to go back to my blueprints folder inside the retargeted characters. The default pawn class, I'm going to set this to Spidey. I hope it works. If it doesn't, yeah, you can see that it doesn't work. So the way you need to fix that is pretty simple. All you need to do is you need to basically go to your ABP generic retarget once again. And here, go to your IK retargeter map. And you're going to see that if you go down this retargeter map, you're not going to have that. The file that we copied the name of, it's not going to be added here because this we added in the previous project's generic retargeter, if that makes sense. So all you need to do is you need to basically go back to your Spider-Man folder and go to assets. And this thing right here, just copy this over once again. Copy the name of this once again, not the actual asset itself. Just copy the name of it, click plus right here, and then just paste this name and then select that as well. So right here, perfect. Compile this. Now, if we did everything fine, it should work just fine. Perfect. So now we have our Spider-Man character just running around in this pretty realistic environment.